Hello, everyone, and welcome to Glendon of York University. We're really thrilled to have you here with us tonight. My name is Jennifer. I'm a Glendon alumna from the psychology program. I'm also a student admissions advisor and the BEd specialist. With me, I have two current students, Megan and Natalie. Would you like to introduce yourselves? Let's start with Megan.
Yeah. Hi, everybody. My name is Megan. I am currently a fourth-year psychology student. I'm also doing a minor in gender and women's studies. I'm a campus ambassador.
Beautiful. And Natalie?
Hi, everyone. My name is Natalie. I'm currently a second-year student doing political science as a major and minor in communication studies, and I'm also a student ambassador.
Beautiful. So we really want to thank you for being here with us. We will start answering your questions towards the end of our presentation, but thank you so much for the fact that you're already interacting with us. For the time being, we'd like to ask you all to type in the chat what kind of programs you're interested in, and particularly what programs are bringing you to our Glendon presentation. That way we could tailor our presentation specifically to you. Let's get started. All right, so where is Glendon, you might wonder? Glendon is in the heart of Toronto. We're actually located very close to Sunnybrook Hospital, which is one of the hospitals where our students end up doing a lot of their practicums. We're about 30 minutes from downtown Toronto, where all the hustle and bustle happens, the life that everyone wants. But at the same time, we're in the middle of the forest where we have a lot of walking trails, really beautiful ones. We're also the founding campus of York University, and for that reason, we're about 30 minutes away from them using a free shuttle that we offer to all our students and faculty. So this is really a great bonus. All right. With that being said, although we are in Toronto, we're really very safe and we have a really nice park-like environment that you're really going to enjoy. And we also have a really fun and active community. And this is why you have the students with us here on the call tonight. So you're going to know more about that in the future slides. Why do students come to Glendon? Well, whenever we ask our students why they are taking courses at Glendon or majoring with us, they always come up with a lot of themes, but the ones that always come up are, one, the hands-on learning that drives career success in Toronto and beyond. Every course that we offer allows you a lot of flexibility to do kind of like to learn outside of the classrooms. We're going to really touch on that later on towards the end of the presentation. But it's really something that brings students to us because they're not just kind of learning from the textbook in a lecture. They have a lot of things that they could do on campus. The second reason is developing a cross-cultural advantage that will help them stand out from the crowd. Glendon has students from so many countries in the world, and on our campus, you're going to hear around 100 languages spoken. And this is really very unique. We also really value that language learning, and this is why one thing I didn't mention is our campus is actually bilingual in English and French. So if you speak French already, you're going to really enjoy that community. If you want to learn French, this is the place to be. For me, this is where I learned my English, but we also have Spanish and some courses in Ojibwe language. York University is really big, and this is why you get access to all the big university resources that you could think of. But Glendon is so tiny. It's kind of like in the heart of all of it. So we have this close-knit campus with support that's super easy, and we make your transition to university the best that it could be. You have all the support that you need, and we like to joke about this that you could access all the resources on campus with absolutely no lineup. Everything is there except for one, and it's the one to Tim Hortons. And I feel like you see the students here, they agree with me because it's so easy to meet with an academic advisor. And then when you go to get the coffee, that's where you see first-year students lining up thinking that they need to access services there until we tell them this is where you order your coffee in the morning. So there are a lot of great reasons to join Glendon, and these are the top ones. Now, why Glendon, or what can you do with your degree? Well, I'm sure that most of you are thinking, I'm getting this degree because I want to improve on my ability to understand certain topics, but also because I want to be able to finance my livelihood later on. I want to be able to get a job. And this is where our numbers speak volume, because 95% of the Glendon grads are able to find a job within 6 months from the time that they graduate. And I'll tell you two stories, mine and my sister's. I managed to get a job 6 months before I even graduated, and I was writing my thesis at the same time as I was working full time. And now I'm also with Glendon full time while doing a master's. So it's really easy for someone to find a job with all the transferable skills that you're going to learn on top of your degree. Our class size is very small, but this is really advantageous. We have about 26 students on average per class, and I'll let Megan and Natalie tell you a little bit about their class sizes too. But with that number, you're able to ask your professors questions. Everything will be answered for you. You get a very tailored accommodations letter, recommendations letter when you go to masters, and this was very useful to me because those who wrote me letters actually knew everything that I did in the classroom and outside of the classroom, including the clubs that I was chairing at the time. And we have a lot of bursaries. So Glendon alone will give you more than $1 million in bursaries. But again, you get access to all the resources of a big campus. This is why you get access to the millions of scholarships from York University as well. So Megan, Natalie, can you tell me more about your course sizes?
I can share on that. So I think most introduction classes are bigger. So you would have around 40 to 50 students. But as you get older, so second year, third year classes are usually smaller. And I think most of my classes this semester are around 25 to 30 students per class.
Nice. By the way, Natalie is sitting in the center of excellence at Glendon. We all recognize any room that anyone could be in when they're on campus. It's so small and it's lovely. What about you, Megan?
Yeah, I'd have to agree with Natalie. I think the biggest class that I had at Glendon was my first year introduction to psychology class, which is a fairly popular class because it's a fairly popular degree, especially here at Glendon. But even then, it only had about, I want to say like 70 or 80 students. And then after that, my second biggest class was 26 people. So Natalie's definitely right. They do get a lot smaller the further into the subject material that you get.
Exactly. And you get that one-on-one with professors who are almost always available for you. They do have office hours, but you're also able to meet them outside of their office hours whenever your schedule fits. I'll tell you something really funny. My sister is in a classroom of only 3 students. She's in translation. So it shrank all the way up to 3. She's graduating this year. You could also take a course that you're the only one in class. And these are some of the practicums that we may offer, whether you work one-on-one with a professor of your choosing. So this is really a nice and unique opportunity you get at Glendon. Plus, on the right side here of the screen, you see one of our alum. So this is Marie Fulchamp. If you could just click one more time, Megan, that would be great. So Marie is very big on TikTok. She has millions of followers. Her handle is La Reza, and this was a video that she shot for all of our incoming students to tell them a little bit of how it was exciting for her to be admitted to Glendon. So you could check out the content that our students develop, and she actually studied communications at Glendon. All right, so speaking of our students, now that we have 2 of them with us, I want to tell you that there are bigger opportunity to connect with a current student, and this is made possible due to our virtual student network, where if you want to connect with anyone studying any program that we offer at Glendon, you're able to meet with them one-on-one through a Zoom booking. So for instance, you could meet with someone like Nathan, who is in the dual degree in international studies and business administration between Glendon and Lyon in France. Amanda is someone who is interested in becoming a teacher, but she did not get into the concurrent B.Ed. This is why she's doing psychology, math with French. And now in her pastime, she's developing math workshops for kids. This will really be helpful for her to get into the B.Ed in the second consecutive entry. Alicia, on the other hand, is currently in the program, but she's double majoring in English and French studies. So if you're interested in that, you could book time with her. Leandra in communications. Another interesting thing about these students is we always include those fun facts about them. So, for instance, when you look at Leandra's profile and you see that she won the Social Butterfly Award, you know that she lives in residence. So, if you're interested and if you're international and want to live on residence, Leandra could also be an option of someone to speak with. So definitely check both their programs and their interest when booking with them, and you can book with more than one. Now, we also like to reward high achieving students, and for that we have 100 spots in the top scholars community. So all you have to do is have an average when you're admitted of 90% and more. And this average is definitely also prorated depending on the curriculum that you're currently studying. So we make sure that it's 90% or equivalent, and we will look into that. So the first 100 who accept their offer will be member of that top scholars community, and they could have access to mentorship, and also some of them will become research apprentice. So they would work with a professor on their own research. So this is a great perk. You get, a free locker as well, and a lot of great perks. So definitely not to mess that with a gym membership too. This would be really useful. Now, when you come to Glendon, there are different things that you could actually have an eye on. So whatever career path you're thinking about, whether it's in the law school, medicine, you want to become a teacher, so education, international affairs, business, economics, or even anything language related like interpretation or speech language pathology and translation, we have something here at Glendon for you. And our classes are actually taught in the language that you want, either French or English. So what kind of programs do we have? So this is a list of all the programs that we have. And the reason why I kind of asked you about your interest to put it in the chat, for us to be able to actually focus on those kind of different programs that you're interested in. So I'm going to go back in the chat a little bit and check. So I see biomedical science. I see a lot of biology, psychology. We love that. This is what Megan and I did. Computer science, that would be at the Kiel campus in the faculty called Leçon. So I highly recommend that you check that. Education concurrent. I'm the BEd specialist, so we're going to definitely touch on that. So let's start with biology then, since it's the first on the list. So biology is very unique at Glendon in the sense that we focus a lot on conservation biology, on ecology, on animal behavior, and things like that. So some of the courses that we have are Intro to Biological Science and Nutrition. We also have Health and Human Genetics. So you're going to see a lot of courses also on, if you're interested in kind of the theories of Darwin, we do have a class on that. We have professors who study birds, others who study monkeys, and they could also take students to Uganda or other places in Africa to study them. And as our professor Vali Yusuf likes to say, they collect poop, lots of it, and they end up studying that in our lab at Glendon. So this is amazing. You might also go to Quebec in a small city where you look at freshwater ecology. So it's really, really cool to study biology at Glendon. And if you want to use it towards a biomedical or a medical field, you're able to take a few classes at the Kiel campus as well. And we have a student, Mark Labib, who actually studied biology at Glendon, took a couple courses at the Kiel campus, and is now pursuing medical school at the University of Ottawa in Ottawa. What can you do with biology? You could become a biologist, a doctor, like we mentioned. Since we also focus on animals a lot, you could become a veterinarian or work as a technician, research scientist, etc. So you really have a lot of kind of interest there. You could also work in kind of environmental consultant because our courses focus a lot on ecology and environmentalism. And now if we go back to the list, we're gonna focus a little bit on psychology next. So psychology is further down in the list. So in psychology, one thing that we offer at Glendon is the concentration in cognitive neuropsychology. For that course, we have something like human neuropsychology, psychobiology, and one thing that I really love is testing and measurement. This course, if you check all other universities, you might not find it unless you're looking at the master's or PhD level. But at Glendon, we offer it, and because of those type of courses, you get opportunities to work in hospitals like Bakerest, where I spent 1 year doing a practicum with clinical neuropsychologists and neurologists. So we really offer a lot of great things. The other thing is, and I think Megan is probably kind of at that level now, when you're in second year, you conduct your own research. And when you do that, you're able to present that research. So Megan, what kind of research are you doing right now? If you're,
Yeah.
or if you're maybe done.
Yeah, so I'm in my 4th year, so it was a little bit ago. But I did get the chance to conduct my own research study. It was super fascinating. We worked with the professor and with, a small group within our class to kind of develop a hypothesis and think about how are we going to test this? How are we going to gather the data? How are we going to count it all together? And our prof worked with us for a very long time, and she was fantastic and helped us develop it into an actual research paper that me and a partner were able to present at York's undergraduate research fair, where we actually won the second place award for the best lower year undergraduate project. So that was super awesome. And she also was the professors at Glendon are incredible. She was kind enough to help us review our paper in order to publish it in York's journal, even though she was on maternity leave. So that was fantastic. And it's really not an opportunity that I think I would have gotten had I not come to Glendon. So yeah, it was fantastic.
That's actually amazing. So you heard it from the students themselves. Our professors go above and beyond. We actually have a retired professor who's on campus almost every day, also answering questions. He even comes on Saturday. So they're very, very dedicated to our students and to us. And we love that about Glendon. And the fact that you got to do your own research, this is only possible because the class size is small, feasible for anyone to get that ethics review and be able to go and test people. The Kiel campus, they have a bigger program, and because they have over 100, they're not allowed to do that. So they're only studying the theory. But at Glendon, you do more than just the theory. And that's amazing. And you could definitely continue into a PhD to become a psychologist, or change kind of what you're interested in and go into the human resources or, occupational therapy, addiction, social work. So there's a lot of avenues there. And in my case, I'm an admissions advisor. So I try to look at what students are interested in and how I could tell them about programs that could be good for them. Let's go quickly to the BEd now, just because I saw some folks actually ask about the consecutive or concurrent.
This one.
And you are able to take at different campuses, absolutely. So if you're interested in courses that are beyond Glendon, you could take some at the Kiel campus as long as you're doing a minimum of 50% of your degree at Glendon. Again, you're deciding on the language for these courses. So we have a really flexible language requirement that we will touch on later on. So for education, when you're applying to that, if you want to teach at so there are actually 3 levels to teach. They're the primary junior, junior intermediate, and intermediate senior. For the primary junior and intermediate senior, for the junior intermediate and intermediate senior, you absolutely have to major in French studies at Glendon. So that would be the major that you select within it. So you do YGJ on UAC if you're all applying on UAC. And then based on that, you then, decide to continue. So for the senior level, you might need a second teachable. So that could be any 18 credits that are specific that you take in that program. Or you could do what Megan and Natalie are doing, a minor. And that kind of adds 1 line on your CV. I think that is a sentence that Professor Stephanie Marion in psychology also uses. Add a line to your CV. I love it. It's sketchy. I took it from her. and you're able to teach more than one subject. And this is what's nice about it, the fact that our BEd is very specialized in teaching French as a second language. This is why we have this expertise in second language acquisition and teaching French as a second language. So some of the courses we offer are teaching and learning French in an immersion context, and also the Rethinking Schooling, a reintroduction to education, because we know that there's a lot more to education than just teaching you from a textbook. There's also a lot on equity, human rights, and all of that. I do see some questions in the chat like AP courses. Yes, we do have some courses that could be eligible for transfer credits, depending on the grade. If you're all who I do not if I'm not able to answer all the questions by the time of our session, please go back to our booth and I'll send you all the links so that you can save the information as well. Let's see, are there any other programs from the list that you would like? Let's see if there's any more in the chat. We talked about the health sciences a bit. Law, so someone mentioned law. So for law school, I would say any program that you see that is shared right now on the screen could get you to law school. We would maybe recommend for you political science like Natalie, because in that program we have international law courses. If you also like philosophy, that would be a good program pairing because of the LSAT that you will have to write at some point before you go into law school. So these two programs are definitely of the highest, maybe also international studies. To get you into this. And I would also like to highlight the certificates, which are on the next slide. Sorry, we missed them. So it's before the arrow. So now we're going to have to go a little bit back. Like program back, yeah. So these are some of the highlights of the programs, and these are the certificates. So for law school, one of the really nice certificate is the law and social thought that you could add to that. But again, if you speak Spanish, you could also do any of the other certificates because they really add a lot of knowledge and nice spaces to add to boost your major, essentially, unless you're doing a minor or a double major, which are both possible. So now, if you're also interested in business, but you're not doing a business program, there's the 4+1 pathway with Schulich. So I don't know if you've heard of Schulich. It's one of the most kind of reputable business schools in Canada. And you're able to do a master's with them. The master's is a 1-year master's, but with good grades, like 85% average or more. And when you also submit the supplementary application and you're eligible, so that means you're not in business economics, or you're not doing our dual degree, you kind of get admissions to it from the get-go. So you don't have to apply to a master's. Once you're done, you're already in that master's as long as you maintain your grade. So this is a nice career pathway as well. All right, so French is not the only teachable, Kristen. I see your question, but it is the main one for French as a second language for these two levels that I mentioned, the junior intermediate and intermediate senior. Just for those, you must actually study French studies and then add another teachable if you will. But if you want to teach at the elementary level or the primary junior, at that point you could major in any of the programs at Glendon, and then you'll become a teacher. Now, let's say you're interested in a Glendon program other than French studies, but you want to teach at the high school level still. You're able to do a Glendon program with a Kiel BEd. It's still a concurrent education program, but the education program will be in English at the Kiel campus, and you're not at that point guaranteed to teach at a French school or French immersion school, but it's possible at that point. Instead of the YGJ option, it will be the YYI. All right, so let's go to the next slide. All right, so we're gonna take a break from all the information that we're throwing at you to tell you that we have a really cool Instagram account, GL Liaison, and throughout that account, you're able to see the professors in action. We have live interviews that our colleague Anna has with the professors, with students, and also with the staff. to tell you all about the program, the courses, and all the supports that you have on campus. So feel free to either check this account, or you could also scan the QR code to access that kind of link. All right, and now let's get back to being serious. So let's give you some more information about the hands-on learning that you get. So probably I've heard of co-ops a lot. We'll tell you what's even better than those when you're at Glendon. So the way that things could happen to you is you could be like Martin, who's in the picture here. So Martin is actually working for the French consulate in Los Angeles. So behind him, you're going to see the French flag and also the US flag on the other side. Although he's a Glendon student, Canadian, he's able to get those type of placements, work placement opportunities, because of our connections worldwide and because of how much we value that outside of the classroom kind of experience that students get. So what other ways can you do this kind of experiential education? So this could be working with the community, whether it's service learning or doing research in a community. I've done a few research like that, let's say in retired home or home for the aged. I also have gone on field trips. So one of my courses, the professor decided to show us the water treatment plant. So we actually ended up going there. It was a health and environment kind of course. You could also work in the labs, whether you're volunteering or working actually as a research assistant with psychology or with a history professor or even French studies professor, or you're in biology. There are a lot of different labs at Glendon. We also have a lot of guest speakers. In psychology, we had actually a lawyer who was wrongly convicted for a crime he didn't commit. And now his purpose is to actually work pro bono with all the cases of people who are falsely convicted. You could also do internships and placements like what Martin is doing, and also what I did at Baycrest. So there's tons of opportunities that are paid or for credit. When we say for credit, it means that you get to work and you get credits for your degree. So it's kind of like a course that you do outside of the classroom, which is super cool and fun. You could also do both, be paid and get credits. So it really depends on what type of experience you're looking for. All right. And because we really value your passion and we want to make sure that we're supporting you every step of the way, we have different courses like the G21, which is a course where you work on your passion project and you bring it to life with a professor. And we're trying to work on the UN goals for the sustainability goals. You could also become a research apprentice, like I mentioned at the beginning, as part also of the Top Scholars community, which, by the way, to get access to that, we just look at your grade and who is the first 100 students to accept their offer. We have the digital media lab for all of our students who really enjoy editing and filming and doing podcasts and so on. We have all the editing suites on our computer labs. We also have tons of equipment that you could borrow. This is also used by the history students, because history is not just about the past and everything that happened with all those who are dead by now. It's also about the living, and we have a lot of really cool things happening. Génial is Glendon Entrepreneuriat et Innovation à l'International. So it's for anyone interested in entrepreneurship. And we also have the CDC, the Career Development Center. And we also have tons of exchange opportunity. Now let's dig into that exchange opportunity, because I do see that you have a few questions about the difference between an IBA and an BA.
Jennifer, I'm just going to cut in for a moment. We are running very short on time.
We're almost towards the end. Yes, it's beautiful. Essentially, you could go to more than 300 destinations worldwide, and these pictures you're gonna see, these are real pictures from our students. So when you're in France, you could be in Nice or Paris or Saint-Étienne if you're doing the IBA and BBA. And you could also have this really amazing view in Barbados or Spain or Turkey or anywhere that you choose to go. Now let's go to the other. So this is kind of if you want to go on exchange, you earn an IBA. We talked about our small class sizes, so that's amazing. Now you know how it feels like based on Natalie and Megan's stories. And the next slide, please. Okay, so this is how it looks like if you go to a big university, but at Glendon, it actually looks more like this. And you see how Mary is raising her hand there? I bet you didn't see it in the next one, please. When she had her arm raised or her hand raised on the corner on the right side there. Exactly. So this is kind of the type of experience you're going to get in a smaller classroom. You're not ever going to fear for your life not finding a seat in a class like some students end up fearing when they go to a bigger university. My sister has been there. She transferred to Glendon that was one of the reasons. All right, the next one, please. So every student in first year will be paired with a peer mentors who are gonna help them transition. There are also social and academic orientations. Anyone in Canada heard of Frosh Week? This is what we mean by social orientation, where you really get to explore all of the city and also meet a lot of students in your program and other programs. We also give you a one-on-one academic advising through that enrollment appointment that you have to book, and that's for course selection and to also understand how your degree process will be. We also really value mental health and well-being, so we have counseling services for you, and we also offer academic accommodations for those who register with the center. All right, so language advantage. I mentioned that Glendon is bilingual, and there are a lot of reasons to actually work on adding some French, and that is because, the World Economic Forum said it, this is the perfect time to learn a language. All right. So how does it look like at Glendon? Well, Glendon offers bilingual degrees, but if you are not so keen on taking more French courses than you need, you're able to get away with about 6 credits in your non-dominant. So that's 1 course in French, maybe 2 if you take half-year courses, and you just get the flexible language Glendon degree. And this is available for all the programs like the business economics, English, history, international studies, philosophy, poli-sci, sociology, and the psychology as a BA option, not the BSc. So, you really get a lot of exposure there. But if you are at the 2000 level and you take 6 credits, then you have the bilingual degree. And at that point, if you add more credits, then you get a bilingual certificate. All right, next one, please. And we also want to give you scholarships. So if you are in Canada, we have the CCUF scholarship of $3,000. If you're international, we have a link, but feel free to go to my booth. I'm here until 9 p.m. today, so that's another 2.5 hours for you to chat with me directly. So I could tell you more about international scholarships, but you could also win some automatic entrance scholarships that go from $1,000 to $4,000 if you have anywhere above the 80% mark, as you see it on the screen. All right, next one, Megan. Our gym membership is only $20, but that's a yearly membership, so only $20 per year. And our Glendon Athletic Club is super famous that whenever we have actors in town filming anything, this is where they work out. So I don't work out much, and now I regret it because some people have seen Adam Sandler. Oh, Megan there. Oh my goodness.
I have a fun fact about the Glendon Athletic Club. So it actually used to be the Toronto Raptors practice gym before they had the stadium that they have now. So that just tells you how good our equipment and our facilities are.
That's true. And our tennis court, that's where they filmed Cheaper by the Dozen too. And many other ones that you're going to discover when you come to Glendon. All right. So residence, we do have that, and it's guaranteed for all first-year students as long as they apply by the June 1st deadline. And our residents are 90% of them single rooms, so you do not have to share it with anyone else. Unless you want to, at that point, you have the option to be with a roommate, and we will give you a questionnaire to make sure that you are a good match for each other. And we also have it's co-ed, but we do have 1 floor that's female only. And we have tons of clubs. And if for some whatever reason the 300 plus clubs that we offer don't really meet your needs, you could create your own with all of your 15 friends. As long as they all sign, you have your own club. And I've created so many clubs at Glendon when I was there. So it's definitely fun. We have a great vibe. So I don't know if Nelly or Megan, you'd like to share a little bit your experience with the clubs.
Sure. I'm actually in a club at Kiel and one at Glendon. So the club at Kiel is the Isaac Club. It's a worldwide organization, and it's basically for sending students on exchange to work in different countries. So that club is more of a bigger scale club. And then the club that I was at, Glendon, it's the Model UN Club, mostly for students who are interested in debate or Model UN conferences in general. This club was initially a Glendon club, but we merged the one at Kiel and at Glendon this year. So we have a lot more people joining. But yeah, it's actually really easy to create your own club or merge two clubs together. The application process does not take that long, and clubs have actually helped me make a lot of friends around Glendon and Kiel.
Beautiful. That's amazing. So this kind of brings us to the end of this session based on the time. And the last slide was just to tell you that normally during March break for Canadian students, they're able to come visit us and meet with professors and attend some live classes. To do that, you could actually email us at liaison@glendon.urq.ca. And this is also the email to connect with us and ask us any questions that you have. So I know we couldn't really touch on a lot of the questions that happened in the chat. I tried my best to kind of put them inside my presentation as I'm going. But feel free to come to my booth. I'm going to be here, as I said, until 9. But I think we're going to have to end the presentation right here. Thank you so much for attending.